to wake you up. I said, get up, fuck me
up. This is Appetite for Distortion.
Welcome to the podcast, Appetite for Distortion, episode number 382. My name is Brando. This might be the last episode of 2022. I'm not sure. It could be. So we'll see. We're going to have a nice little farewell. I'm wearing my, here's my bad joke right away, my Undertaker tank top, because we're going down under today to Australia. We're starting off with a bang. We're starting off the bang with the colossal mistakes, just like with Guns N' Roses on that Australian tour. So today, we're joined by, maybe you're familiar with the names because they often chime in on social media. I always say the conversation continues in between the broadcasts. Jason Bork, where are you calling? Where are you zooming in from? And by the way, thanks to your daughter for helping you set this up, since you are illiterate when it comes to technology, apparently.
Well, that's being kind, I think. Yeah. I'm Queensland, Gold Coast.
Okay.
So on the East Coast. Yeah.
The East Coast of Australia.
Yep.
Okay. And now I was on his very cool acoustic Fox in the Wire podcast. Craig, I said you looked like the actor who's in Anaconda, right? And he was also in Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
You said you get it a lot. Why am I forgetting this actor's name? He's in everything.
Eric Stoltz.
There you go. Yeah. Eric Stoltz. Wearing a Slash t-shirt. I like that.
Yes, I thought I'd wear it for the special occasion today. I actually got this t-shirt from I think somewhere in North Hollywood when I went to America back in 2007, when I was dragged over there by all the tales of Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses. So I had to go over in there and check it out for myself. And yeah, got this t-shirt. So I thought I'd wear it today.
No, I like a black t-shirt, which, standard with rock and roll, but it's almost all covered with not a silhouette, just a black and white photo of Slash. And can I just say right off the bat, do you think you find cooler Guns N' Roses merchandise not by Guns N' Roses? Like, you usually find it in like a cool fan store or Etsy. I just feel like some of the merch, because it's on my brain because I keep getting Guns N' Roses emails from the official Guns N' Roses site about order today if you want to get this by Christmas. Order today if you want 50% off. Waiting on that new music email. Not yet.
No.
Not yet. I think it'll happen. I do. Well, I mean, that'll come up within our conversation, but you guys are joining us. I appreciate we worked out the time difference. Possibly we'll be joined by Third. I just want to make sure I give him a shout out because and I'm grateful, honestly. Let me say it. I have a lot of listeners. I don't know why in Australia. So to Dave Bowden in Seville Grove, Western Australia. So that's the opposite side of you, Jason, right?
And I think they're 3 hours behind as well. So
different time zone or time difference.
Well, you all knew the time. That's how it is. Whenever I do episodes with Mark Alexander Erber from Golden Robot, based out of Australia, we got to figure it out. So my Friday night is your Saturday morning. That is so weird to me. That is so weird to me that you guys. So what happens in the future? Is there Guns N' Roses music? What's happening? Tell me what's going on.
Not yet. I've been down the beach this morning. That's about it.
So I respect you guys a lot, and I want you just right off the bat, if I just my knowledge of Australia is limited to the Simpsons episode, and I may have mentioned to you, Craig, in the episode, as I just made myself disappear in the Zoom. That was kind of weird. How do I do that? There we go. So again, you can, if you're listening to this on the normal podcast platforms, please subscribe to our YouTube to see the video of all our wonderful faces, what we're talking about. Oh, and Jason, I should also describe your background because you have a GNR. I don't want to put it all on Craig, who came prepared. you stacked up your background with the Appetite, both Appetite logos. I guess you could say that, right? The inside, the cover, the eventual cover, and the robot Robert Williams painting. And you also have a lithograph. What's that lithograph behind you?
That's Brisbane 2017.
Okay, very cool.
So hour up the road. I was lucky to get 2 gigs this time around, an hour apart. So that's from the last tour, and not in the Lifetime tour. So
right on. And Craig, if we went through your entire background with all your guitars, that's just a whole other episode. So I can't go into your entire background right now.
I understand.
But I was yeah. Well, I mean, it's cool. You're a musician. You're a podcaster. It's very cool that I'm still working on my background, by the way, as I have a new studio. Hold on, let me see if I can shut this off.
Oh, cool.
I should be able to just shut this off. And I think I have nothing. Well, it's not shutting off right now. It's just my logo right now. I'm still adjusting to everything. So it's just my logo. I don't have like a cool background like you guys yet. That's coming in 2023. That's coming. But I have a few friends that are married to Australians. I've never met. Every Australian I've met has been really nice. I would love to visit, but just the plane ride, dude. I can't do it. I don't know if I could do it. So I don't know. Jason, Craig, you mentioned you've been to America. Jason, have you been here? Have you made that giant, long ass flight?
Not America. No.
Just
okay. All Pacific Islands and stuff for me. That's fair enough.
Right on. But we all meet at Guns N' Roses, no matter where we are in the world, which is what I love. And I haven't been doing as many fan reviews this leg of the tour for a variety of reasons. One, we kind of spoke about with the time difference. It's not like I was like when it was in the States, you're kind of just working within a 3-hour time difference, whether, like California is only 3 hours behind New York, but it's obviously it's the next day for you guys. And one, there's some people in the maybe more of a language barrier where we're kind of nervous coming on, even though I've spoken to the people on the podcast, and I never make that an issue, whatever you're comfortable with. Also in 2023, I should get my tooth back, my front tooth that I got knocked out in January. That's the reason why I've been doing so many episodes behind the microphone and working in a slight lisp that I hate. So slower episodes, not as many. It's funny. I've done a lot of episodes. I put a lot of great content this year, less than I would have done if I had that tooth, which just, I look like a hockey player. It's not as cool.
Wow.
From a car accident. It was never driving in the snow ever again, which you guys don't have that problem, do you?
Never seen that. Oh, there's snow down south.
Yeah. Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Jason would say it.
No, I'll stay up this end.
No.
Yeah.
I learned something today. See, my American ignorance. Fair enough. But I wanted to talk to the Australian fan because of this. We got to just play this clip, and it's the old news by now, but we all know. So I'm going to play it, and all the credit is given within the clip, and feel free to react during. It's kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's fine.
A Guns N' Roses fan has spoken exclusively with 10 News First, describing the moment she was hit in the face by a microphone launched by Axl Rose during this week's concert at Adelaide Oval. Luckily, she's not knocking on heaven's door and will remain a huge fan of the legendary rocker.
Head pun.
Welcome to the jungle.
Another one.
Fucking cheesy.
It wasn't intentionally to hurt somebody. It was a souvenir to the crowd, and I just copped it in the face. I still can't believe it. Out of 20,000 people, it was me.
Rebecca Howe thought she might be knocking on heaven's door when frontman Axl Rose hurled his microphone into the crowd during Guns N' Roses' Adelaide show on Tuesday night.
I saw him throw it, but I didn't see it coming. I was blindsided by all the lights and stuff. And then, bang, my brain was like, oh my God, my face has been caved in.
The microphone mishap happened during the encore. It was anything but Paradise City as other fans made a dive for the prize.
I saw the guy with the microphone, like with the victory, I've got it. But all I could think of was like, oh my God, my face.
Other concert goers captured the moment the mic was launched from the stage.
Well, everyone was excited trying to catch it, and it wasn't until after it was caught that people realised that someone had actually been hurt.
Beck says she only posted her injuries online as a warning to fellow fans.
Get ready to duck when you hear Paradise City. That's all I want to say.
And she holds no ill will towards Axl Rose for her bloodied nose, just this message.
Yeah, I need another mic. The other one got stolen from me. It's mine.
Tiffany Warren for 10 News First.
So if you're unfamiliar, because it's been everywhere, especially because I wanted to get your point of view from the Australian press that apparently was, well, what it does, what a lot of tabloids do. It doesn't matter what part of the country you're from. So Axl Rose has had this, what do you call it? Just this end of the show tradition he's been doing for 30 years, 3 decades of tossing his microphone into the crowd after the show, after Paradise City or whatever the final song is. I see, as I'm a part of like a lot of GNR fan groups, I see people who catch it. I've never been close. How about you guys? Have you ever been close to an Axl mic toss?
No.
This year was, I think it went about 20 meters away from us this year. It's pretty close. I told my daughter, if you see it, come and start throwing elbows and get what you can. But just a bit far away.
Okay, but that's still kind of funny. You're preparing your daughter to kind of, well, she wouldn't have got hit in the face like poor Rebecca.
I prepped her for the gig.
Oh, funny. So, I guess these things happen with people getting hurt at concerts. It's not like it's Guns N' Roses of old where it's a riot's going to happen. It's just, it was an accident that really was never in doubt. You would think. What was alarming and what I feel really made it news was her face. And no offense to her face was awful. It looked like she was, got doing like 15 rounds with Mike Tyson. She got, it looked like she was dating Chris Brown. It was awful, like awful. I'm sorry. People need to be reminded what a dirtbag he is, by the way. I hate the fact that he still makes music, and that's a side thing. But seriously, she looked like a domestic abuse person, like awful. And how would that happen from a microphone? And that's like the first thing I see. And I want to get both your initial reactions, because when this happened, it's like, oh wow, that's kind of sucks for her. Wow, what kind of what an injury to happen from a microphone. And Jason, you might have been the one to remind me that somebody got hit in the face with a microphone by Axl like 10 years ago during the Chinese democracy days. Got hit in the teeth.
Yeah. I think that was over here as well.
That was in Australia as well, which is
I think it was Western Australia, I think. Speaking of Western Australia.
I don't know what it is about you over there. So he got hit in the teeth. He sued, only sued for his dental. He just said it's a lot of pain and suffering, and my insurance, and I have kids. I get that. I think that's cool. I had recently read the story, so these details are fresh. But like how the promoter offered the microphone autographed to him, and he's like, "That's great, but that's not going to help my teeth." So cool. So that's one incident within 30 years. So this is the second incident in 30 years. Not a big deal. But I was really surprised, and I still am, at the absolute. I guess we have to talk about it in stages. We're already past this point of the story where Axl kind of gave an apology, I guess, because he was kind of frustrated. But he was frustrated with the Australian tabloids, the way they were covering it. Some making it seem like he did it on purpose, and that he would stop doing it. So by this time, I would say like 90% of what I see fans are just like, screw F this woman. They're upset. They think she's faking it. She wants something. I'm saying all these things at first because she could have at least wanted something medical for her, like the other guy, and that's understandable. I don't know about you guys. I'm not a doctor, but I'm familiar with like when people get nose jobs or hit in the face with a baseball. You could in their nose. You could still get black eyes around your face. I think of the Seinfeld episode where he was scuba diving and he got suctioned on his face, and then it's like, how'd you get black eyes? Well, I was scuba diving, too much pressure. So these things happen. But the amount of fans are thinking that she's making it up and they're upset that she's the one to blame for this. So I'm going to shut up as the American. Craig, let's go to you. I want since I reached out to you first actually to talk to about this. What's your take on all of what is it the microphone incident? I guess we can call it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Obviously, I saw the photos as well, and big black eyes, and I guess I'm not sure what sort of microphone Axel uses, but microphones can be quite solid. And although the media make it out like that he threw it sort of thing, he actually lobs it. He tosses it into the audience, and I guess depending on how high it goes on its way back down, it's going to pick up a bit of speed, and if it hits you sort of right in the nose, it's probably going to hurt and at least leave you with a couple of black eyes like it did. So you'd almost expect if she was in that part of the audience that she would have been a fan and would expect something like that to happen. At the end of Paradise City. But maybe she took her eye off Axel for 2 seconds and was texting or something and looked up and bang, I guess it could happen with drumsticks, when drummers toss drumsticks into the audience, might
Sure.
land the wrong way and go straight through your eye. Who knows? It's maybe happened for all I know, but
Final Destination shit. You never know.
yeah, I mean, I look at someone like Sebastian Bach, how he swings the whole mic like pretty violently. I'm like, oh dude, that's gonna unclip one day, and
I know. I've thought the same thing.
Yeah. As far as I know, it hasn't happened.
Sebastian actually was throwing beers into the audience in '93 down in Sydney. It was so hot and there wasn't alcohol allowed. He was tossing full stubbies out into the
like
crowd.
glass bottles.
But yeah, proper stubbies.
Yeah, right. I guess Pantera used to do that from the stage, but they were, plastic cups. That was pretty cool footage to watch. But a microphone could definitely hurt you, and obviously it did. But maybe she doesn't have any, ongoing broken nose damage or anything like that. Whereas the guy from Perth back in 2013, I think it was.
Thanks for looking that up.
Knocked out. Yeah, a couple of front teeth knocked out, and I think it was like $5,000 in dental costs.
And I completely understand that right now. That's basically I'm not quite for this one tooth. It's almost 5,000 for this one tooth.
Yeah, and especially with inflation these days, it's probably more these days. But
oh wow,
yeah.
Jason, what were your thoughts? Because, and I'll just say this because, again, I've never been close. Despite the fact that I hosted Guns N' Roses podcast, there are fans way more nerdier than I that say that he replaces the microphone at the end of Paradise City. It's more of a lightweight microphone. But if you're not looking, a Nerf football can fuck you up. If you're not looking. And also, and I'll say this again as somebody who hosted Guns N' Roses podcast, and for two of you who are joining who are Guns N' Roses podcast, most fans at these shows are not like us, as nerdy as us, that may not know of this tradition. And she's just looking around and it has no. So that's another one of my thoughts on this. But what about you, Jason?
I think the media's blowing it up. Just the words they were using in the script, like how he launched it into the crowd and this, that, and the other. I mean, she's getting the rough end here. She's not said much. She didn't want anything. I think, of course, he'd take a mic if he's going to give it to you. But it's all media, man. Before this happened, they were getting 100% good reviews. And as soon as this happened, and that's all they were talking about, it wasn't even about the show. It was all about her and blowing it up in their words. Yeah.
I know. That's what's been so interesting about Guns N' Roses, where they used to be, and they use this phrase with Snake Sabo, who I just interviewed, that Doug Goldstein used to refer to them as the CNN band, that Snake first learned of the St. Louis riot on CNN, and that was just Guns N' Roses all the time. Nowadays, there is no controversy. So this little thing became something else. And I'll say this too. I tweeted the fact. So I emailed, was it like News 12, News 10, Adelaide, and I was like, if you don't mind, I would love the contact of this Rebecca. I would love to, and the reason for that is because I was really aghast, if I can use that word, at some of the language from fans that I would use towards her, like this bitch. I would have caught it. What is she not? Look, I get it's the internet and all that, but she got her face fucked up. She wasn't, again, but you can, in nowadays, you can really post and say, like, I have a problem. I want Guns N' Roses canceled. She just posted it. If I got hit in the face, I had black eyes, I would have posted it. You know, like when I lost my tooth, I posted it. So that's also part of the world. So I was like, you know what, maybe I wanted to explain a little bit more where people are questioning. Another Seinfeld reference, if you remember the second spitter, where Jerry's trying to explain how one spit can make all this, you know, ricochet and go. People are trying to figure that out with this microphone, how it can give somebody two black eyes. It's like, whoa, none of you. It's like, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying this is definitely. Maybe she did get hit by somebody's elbow, and who knows? But again, who cares? Like, she got hurt. She posted. Media made it out of control. So the news station emailed me her number. I really just wanted her email because I don't want to be invasive. I think I texted Australia right. It was like a 1 and like your country code. No response. Didn't want to call her, and I'm like, you know what? I hope the text did go through. And she just said, you know what? No, I don't want to do this, because if she went on my podcast, people would probably hate on her more. Honestly, saying that she's.
Some people were calling her the most hated woman in Australia, and it's ridiculous. Some of the fans, man, they're just.
But she didn't do anything. That's what's like bothers me. And what sucks, Axel canceled this, but we're talking about days, you know, saying we were Pantera's throwing things in the crowd. Axel used to launch himself into the crowd. Nowadays, 2022, you can't take any risk, because what if that might hit like a kid, or what if she really got hurt? Then like your fucking legal fees for like years. Like, it's not worth. Is it really worth throwing the mic? So I don't know about you. Do you support, and I'm sorry, this might be my most controversial opinion. I don't support the hashtag Axel tossed the mic, because he could hurt somebody again. It's not this woman's fault. It sucks that it happened, but I don't know about you. I know you're not I don't know how big hockey is in Australia, but I remember years ago, I mean, growing up, hockey didn't have netting around. They didn't have helmets, by the way. Now they all wear helmets. There's netting after a little girl died. Baseball, they've changed everything around as far as where the netting stops. Things change, man. So, again, I just wanted to. Am I looking at this wrong? Because again, I was so surprised. It seemed to be like this was my most controversial opinion. By the way, sorry, I've been awake since 3 a.m. for doing the morning show here in Q, at Q1043, which I'm doing until the end of the year. So I'm like all over the place. Sorry. Anyway. So Jason, did you go? Not only did you went to the shows on this leg, by the way, or you did? I forgot to ask.
Yeah, I'll do this one.
Sorry,
I didn't go to this one.
Okay, Jason.
Yep.
Yeah, Brisbane and Gold Coast.
So tell us how those were. Were those were one of those? Which one was the drone incident? Another incident. Were you at that one?
Gold Coast, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Gold Coast.
I can't remember. Yeah, I saw it after the fact. I didn't really pay attention while it happened.
So
it was Gold Coast. Yeah,
you're right. This is Axel says this. Had a few drones this leg. Last night, Gold Coast, Australia was probably the most intrusive. Was a bit of a distraction. Obviously, someone thought it was just okay to be doing that, but you can read his tweet. But he's like, "Go play with your toys somewhere else." One of Axel's long tweets using N apostrophe for everything. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video of Mike Patton attacking the drone or trying to. That was pretty funny.
I saw that last night
at Knotfest. Yeah, that was pretty incredible footage. Actually, it's
he was calling it.
He nearly had it.
I know he nearly had it, but now I'm wondering now if this is really going to become a thing, because that was cool. I hate to say that was cool footage too, but that wasn't. I don't know, man. That's like something else is dangerous. We're worrying about drones at concerts now. What the?
Yeah,
Where are
I
we?
hope it's not a thing. It's not cool. I mean, it was great footage, but not in a good way. You know, like it was incredible to watch, but I hope it doesn't become a thing.
Well, now you jinxed it, Greg. So now I'm going to blame you.
Sorry, everyone.
And Jason, were you at any of the shows? I tried playing the audio for you earlier, but you said it sounded muddy for you. But Axel stopping Estranged for the spotlight being in his face, and
Yeah.
and everyone's like, even when I hear it, your heart stops. Oh boy, here the night train is finally going off the rails. But it is awesome. Axel Wade has called somebody out and it's like, all right, let's start over. Sorry, guys. Were you at that show or no?
No, that wasn't
Damn it.
mine. No. But no, the shows I was at, they were all happy as, man. They were in a good mood. And I think Brisbane was the first show. Actually scored free tickets from an auntie that had friends cancel. So we went up. That's the first time I've ever sat down at a concert.
Oh.
So it was good to just sit back and watch and, different perspective. And I thought that was good. The sound was really good. The set was a bit different. But then the Gold Coast, we were standing in the front GA section, standing. And my daughter got right down to the rails, so we were laughing at that. But that gig sounded even better again. And I think they really chopped and changed the set around. They were just throwing songs from everywhere, and I don't know. I didn't think they could get better than Brisbane, but Gold Coast was easily better.
I think that's cool. And a great point with the set list. A lot of people still complain about the set list, but I think they've changed a lot. They really have changed a lot.
Duff doing the Iggy song. That's a highlight for both nights. That was good.
Was this your daughter's first time seeing GNR with you, or is this
Yeah.
What did she think?
Oh, she loved it, mate. She was in tears. She was laughing, dancing, in tears again. I was finding myself watching her a lot of the time to see how she was doing it. My son was there too. It was his first gig for them. He snuck himself into the VIP section up the front somehow. So
Look at that.
yeah,
Good.
yeah, he did well.
Well, you're a parent of the year in my mind. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But Craig, how come you didn't go to any shows this year?
I don't know. Like I went back in 2016, not in this lifetime tour, and that was great. At the MCG in Melbourne, it was like 90,000 plus people, I think, or somewhere around the 80, 90,000. But I think in the last couple of years, I think mainly because no new music for me, I didn't have the interest in going. Guns are one of my favorite bands, but at some point, if they're going to still play live, although they've got more than enough good material for a set list, a big set list, I think I would still like some new music from them. I'm not sure what that song was. It last year, Hard School, the single. Don't know what that was about, but I'd really, really like to see some new music from the guys. So I don't know. I just didn't have the interest in going this time around, unfortunately. So, yeah.
I appreciate that opinion too, because I see that as a shared opinion by a lot of people. Because even though they changed the set list, there are people like, you know what? It's not different enough for me. By this time we're, how many years into this reunion, which is just incredible. More than a Hard School and Absurd. Could we do more? I mean, I'm happy. I've already waxed poetic. I'm in the Absurd. I'm a fandom. I don't know why I didn't like Silkworms. Absurd. It is an absurd song, but I do enjoy it. But in a recent / interview, he said, okay, he wants to do it. He thinks like I guess this time, with their family and everything like that, but they're going to tour next year, then hopefully. But it's just very interesting why he says these things and nothing. I don't know, like what's there's really no update. Like some bands might give you an update where I think it was it was like Tammy Downey from like Faster Pussycat. She said recently, like, you know what, we're gonna put out a couple songs here. We're working on this. I don't know, but now I'm like updating you on everything that you would think a fan would want. And I understand it's GNR. We're beating a dead horse to use something, but a lot of people feel the same way as you, Craig, saying if there's nothing new, sorry, you know, I love this band, but shows are expensive. You got to eat. So you got to decide between tickets or a sandwich. So I sometimes, I guess. Oh, by the way, I do have the audio. I thought the one I was muddy. Was the when he stopped his strength, but the audio of, I don't know. I'm trying to add like effects now with my home studio. I'm trying to like add production back into the podcast like I used to. So this is from the spotlight skip. So it's better coming from Axel's mouth than mine.
Okay. This is to the spotlight that I'm pointing at. I don't know what your deal is, but I've asked you to shut that off about 10 times now. I really want to do the show for the people, and I don't want to be blind. I don't know what's wrong with the light. We can't seem to fix it. Sorry, people. We'll start over now. You can use that one. It's great. That one sucks. Please shut it the fuck off.
Please shut it the fuck off. I love how right? Everyone's like, he's back. He's back. He's weaving between, sorry, people, the lovable Axel and shut it the fuck off. Like the Axel is about to fly off. It's so brilliant and seamless. Just too cool. So yeah, I always wanted to play that audio while I have the ability to do so.
At least he didn't storm off.
No, there's been nothing wrong. Everything's been positive, all his tweets. So it's really cool. That's why it was so fascinating to watch the microphone incident unfold and become something. It's just, what is this? And becoming a hashtag movement. And I will say that because I see Axel toss the mic, hashtag Axel toss the mic up the like on Twitter, like it just pops up. So enough people are tweeting it. And you know what? If anything, I think it's a good thing because it shows support to Axl Rose and the band. So it's not a bad thing. But I was one of those like, wow, this woman got messed up. I believe her story because she's not doing enough, I think. And I wanted to make sure I played her audio before. I don't know. Does she sound like somebody who wants something that is out for any sort of for 15 minutes? It sounds like she posted. Right, Jason, tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, because you can. Believe me. Tell me if I'm wrong. It sounded like somebody who posted a video, a picture, and like social media does, it just caught something, and your local news wants to interview you at your front door. That's fun for somebody. You don't think anything of it. I get hit in the face by Axl Rose. And some of the fan base. Oof. But before I forget, you guys might want to. I'll say this because if this is the last episode of the year, I want to talk to you guys about this. Because it's fun. It's making me think about the fan base and everything. So I posted, again, follow social media in between the broadcasts, that the cover of the next Rolling Stone has been released. Did you see that post that I made?
No.
Okay, so okay, good. So I want to get your reaction then. And I'll tell you guys first if you don't know. So I want to make sure I get it right. But it says like the search for the lost. There we go. So, by the way, the person on the cover, I don't know who she is. Rosalia. I think she's a reggaeton artist. I don't know who she is. But she looks like, if you look at the cover, which if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, you will, because you'll get this issue. I thought it was a dick tattoo on her thigh. Then I thought it was a guitar neck. Look at it, bro.
I have to look now.
Somebody says it's poorly drawn suspenders or like straps, like if she was wearing a girdle or something. Not a girdle, but something sexy. It looks like a penis head. Awful. But
I see. Oh yeah.
Google it right now, everybody.
Oh my god. What is it?
It's supposed to be I thought it was a guitar neck, but then a fan corrected me saying that it's like suspenders, like the snap part of the suspenders that goes down. Awful. And they like highlight it. She should be, I don't know, whatever. She's a millionaire. I'm not. She wins. I lose. But right above that, it says the search for a lost GNR masterpiece.
Mm.
I could talk about that now because Rick Dunsford has talked about that a little bit now. So if you don't know who Rick Dunsford is, I think it was the 300th episode called Don't Ban Me. Rick Dunsford is the band fan. So that was also not good press for Guns N' Roses. He was, to loosely put it, air quote, involved in the Guns N' Roses leaks. He didn't steal them. He was just one of the fans that decided to pay a lot of money for him. And I always said, as long as your wife doesn't leave you, mine would. If I spent thousands of dollars on unreleased Guns N' Roses music, I think you're a little, but you know what? You're nice. You're cool. But I do crazy things too. Whatever. It's your money. It's your life. But I like Rick. So back in March, Rick DM'd me and said, like, do you want to, People Magazine are doing an article on me. And I said people on purpose. Sorry, Rick. Now I could blow your cover. He's like, People Magazine are doing a cover on me about getting banned and the leaks and all that. I'm like, People Magazine? Why would they give a shit? People's generic. Like, why would they care about Guns N' Roses Underground? That seems weird to me. He's like, well, they asked if they can interview you since you know a lot about the story. I'm like, this sounds weird. And I said no. And then he came back and he's like, it's Rolling Stone. Okay, that changes something a little bit. So back in March, I did like an hour and a half interview with the author of this. I don't know if that's released yet. So some things I'll say private, but about Rick, about the leaks, about the toxic nature of some Guns N' Roses fans, which is not the majority. The majority are AFD listeners. So the majority are awesome. But to talk about that, to talk about Guns N' Roses management, what I know, having never spoken to them actually, but just how things operate, for what I know, I guess. Yeah, that's so that's going to be coming out any day now.
That's cool.
It's supposed to be, I don't know if it's like the official late December or early January issue. I don't know. Rick is the feature. They actually went to his house and they took pictures. He posted some of the pictures of them, like him posing in the park with who the fuck is Tommy Stinson t-shirt.
Why have they waited so long?
What's that?
Why have they waited so long to do this? Like, how long ago did that happen? 4 years ago? Or?
Right. So that's part of the interesting part of the conversation that I see going on at mygnrforum.com. I'll give them a plug because I like it over there, even though some people don't. But like, why now? I think it's such an underrated story, and it's so hard to tell. Again, excuse me. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know why now, but it's always something that I said would be a movie. Like, how do you explain this? This is a crazy story. Rick getting banned from shows is crazy enough, but behind it, with it involving, storage lockers. If you're familiar with what a storage locker is, that was holding leaks, and that was sold, and that wasn't their problem. Things I don't even know. So I don't know how much of my interview, if any. I don't want to think like that. I hope I'm mentioned in Rolling Stone. That would be I don't know, bucket list thing to happen. But what do you guys know? Because Jason, you know a lot about this. I don't know how much you do, Craig, about this whole underground Guns N' Roses audio trading, leaks, Leakgate. It's so hard. Trolling. It's unbelievable, the underground story that's going on, and I can't believe it's supposed to be a 6-page spread. Rolling Stone.
Wow, 6. Wow,
6. I think that's. Wow. I mean, maybe the font is like 46, but I don't know. I really don't know. Rick hasn't read it as far as he's told me. I wouldn't say I wouldn't tell you. I don't want to say anything that I wouldn't be allowed to say, but I think I told you everything that I know. So that really is
a lot of layers to that story, I'm sure. Just keep going and going.
It's going to be interesting to see if there's any reaction to it, because Rick for the longest time thought that Team Brazil was going to shut it down, because why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they shut it down? It doesn't show the band in a positive light. I don't know if it shows them necessarily in a negative light, because I don't know how involved, if they are involved in this. It's just a weird story that, well, we'll see how it's written. I mean, it's quite an undertaking. So look out. If you haven't bought Rolling Stone in years, buy the next one.
Yeah, it's been a while for me, but I will keep an eye out for that for sure. And hopefully they drop your podcast, at least drop the name of the podcast.
That's all I'm asking for. That's all I'm asking for.
Deserves it, man. You've done some. I just wanted to congratulate you. Sorry to go off topic a little bit, but you've had some killer episodes this year in particular. And I woke up this morning, and I usually go for a walk on Saturday morning because it's my day off, and updated my RSS feed, and then your interview with Snake came up, and I'm like, oh, sweet. So downloaded it, went for a walk, listened to it, and yeah, it was a great interview. So thank you for that, and congratulations. Snake is he's always one of my favorite guys to listen to. Like, he's really nice guy, really down to earth, really humble, and yeah, some of the stories that he shared with you were really cool, like the riot story. That was really cool.
Yep.
So
I was not expecting that one, and I wasn't expecting all those kind words. So thank you, Craig. Anybody who knows me knows I take compliments awful because I'm just so hard on myself. So I'm doing my best just to say thank you and shut up about it. So I do appreciate that, and that's what's cool, that people like Craig, Jason, how many years at this point that you've just been DMing me, and you're not maybe no, you comment publicly, but you also comment privately. Let me know what's going on, sending me links like a lot of fans do. Maybe you'll be interested in this. What do you think about this? So you're one of those names of doing this Appetite for Distortion venture of mine that sticks out. So that's why, when I saw you message me, I was like, you know what? Maybe he wants to be a part of this. So I'm glad. Thank your daughter for helping you. Yeah, it's all good there. And Snake, I don't want to lose it. I forget it because I looked at my emails. I emailed him back in 2018, and we had a few back and forths, and it was like around the Super Bowl time, and it never happened. And I was like, one of those times, like I was kind of bitter about it. I was like, damn it, what happened? Did I get cock blocked by management, or what happened here? But it's just the life. It really is. These people get inundated with requests. Things get lost. It's nothing personal. I take things too personal because he was awesome. He really was just like a super nice guy. And by the way, do you like how I did 2 Skid Row's interviews this year with Rachel Bolan and with Snake?
Heard that one too. Yeah.
0 mention of Sebastian Bach.
Thank
0.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that to both Rachel and Snake beforehand. They're like, thank you, appreciate it. They had nothing bad to say. They were just like,
sick of talking about it.
Exactly. They're sick of talking about it. It's kind of like you look back and Slash was sick of talking about Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
And as Axl was sick of talking about Guns N' Roses. I get it. So it's what was to be accomplished. I got my headline from Blabbermouth about his neck surgery. Him looking forward to it and looking forward to next year.
Didn't know about his nerve issues. That's I don't know how he sort of copes, especially playing live, with these issues. He's obviously done well, but hopefully this surgery helps him going forward.
I hope so. And I look at him as an example with all the Guns N' Roses guys. When people might be hard on Axl, he's 60 and he's running around for 3.5 hours. Like, who knows? I'm sure he's got joint problems like that we don't know about. With Slash. I mean, how does he not have? Oh my God, like arthritis with this. God forbid, knock on wood.
I couldn't run around like that for 10 minutes, let alone 3 hours. No way.
No, you have to be in shape. You have to be have dedication. You have to love what you do. And it's been showing through Skid Row recently. It's been showing with Guns N' Roses. And I think that feeds to the fan base. Like when they're having a good time, you're having a good time. So that's why they try to stay away from the bad press. But it shows whether it's Australia or the US. It's just, other than it's me. I don't do that. I don't look for the bad press. It just finds at me, I guess, sometimes, not on purpose.
It's nice.
You know what, Brando? Oh, sorry, Jace.
It was nice. This time around, Duff gave a little interview to our local network. You don't get that often, so it's good to get one. It was short and sweet, but It was something.
No, I thought that was really sweet. To emphasize the word sweet, because he took the reporter on like a tour of the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
saw
talk
that.
about the stadium, I guess, and what it like? What's it like? What's an Australian crowd like? Because that's something we've spoken about with fans. I mean, nothing is going to be like Argentina, but what's an Australian? And again, I know you're not all there with didgeridoos. Sorry, like, sorry. So, what's an Australian crowd like for GNR?
It's good. It's full crowds. Many different age groups there. Like I said, from my kids to old grandparents walking around. It was a really mixed crowd, but it wasn't too out of hand. Right up the front, there was a bit of movement, but I think everyone was just fucking blown away, to tell you the truth. Leading into it, people were saying, "Oh fuck, he can't sing. He's lost his voice." But talking to people after the show, I went to the casino after the show and was just talking to people, and no, everyone was just blown away by the whole show. Just the stamina, pretty much, on how long they can go, and everyone was flabbergasted by it. Really, it was good.
I see that a lot. It's interesting how I guess it's not interesting. It's how social media works now. But I started liking a lot of Australian news sites and following these stories, and so I see all the comments, and that's what it was about. Everyone was kind of mirroring what you're saying, that it's all positive. Everyone had a great time, and no one cares that they're older. Everyone's having a great time, and a lot of people like you are bringing their kids. But I guess I understand, Craig, why you need a little extra to go. I mean, so I get that. And for me, it's one of the few concerts I really enjoy going to. I'm not like my wife who wants to see everything under the sun. I'm still going to see Guns N' Roses, but yeah, I want to see, I really want something new. I really do.
Especially when you got guys like Duff and Slash who constantly put out, solo music, whether it's Velvet Revolver or Slash's stuff with Miles and the Conspirators and Duff solo albums. Like, they're always putting out new material and writing new things. So they've got material now. So what's the hold up? It's probably Axel or who knows, but there's likely no shortage of new material because of Slash and Duff. So
that's why I'm hoping, like, once they finally get into a room, it's like, wow, okay, here's all this stuff, like, you hit the ground running kind of situation, because they're not getting any younger, but
yeah.
And I love, it doesn't have to be an album. It can be what Faster Pussycat's been doing. I guess what GNR did with Absurd and Hard School. Just keep doing it. And I will say, it was a Twitter comment that it's like you can't demand, the fans demanding new music. It's not demanding, it's not. It's kind of like, that's the relationship with artists and fan. It's like, we like what you're doing. You want to keep doing it, or tell us you don't want to do it. I think it's just like, it's the right of the fan to be like, you know what, I would love to have more stuff. Yeah. Obviously, there are people who took it to the extreme, like Rick Dunford and company, and goes on like crazy road trips to get Guns N' Roses leaks, which I guess I will even read about in Rolling Stone, because I really don't know what was used. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff in there that I'm not even aware of, that I wasn't even aware of. But yeah, a lot of the trolling, and I'm just, I can't believe this is going to be. It doesn't seem real, but I'm looking at that Rosala cover with the penis tattoo, or I mean the suspender tattoo, and yeah, there it is, a search for a lost GNR masterpiece. So maybe if that comes out before the end of the year, I'll talk about that. I'll do an episode about that, but we'll see, because right now no episodes planned. Oh, and I haven't said this, so maybe you guys will be interested. I haven't promoted this on the podcast recently because it's just been a straight interview. So if you also like horror movies, I have a spin-off horror podcast, conveniently named Appetite for Horror. Very brilliant, I know. So cool. Appetite for Horror on Facebook, Appetite 4 Horror on Twitter and Instagram. I've interviewed a couple people from Terrifier. I a producer, actor from Terrifier. I got one of the producers from Tales from the Crypt. We spoke about Slash's episode when he was in that. I hadn't seen that episode in, God, so long. And Slash was like, he had such a small part. He played a radio DJ named Hank. And so that was it. He had like a small part, but he hung out apparently like with the cast for like days just to watch them rap. Like he was that cool and he wanted to be a part of Tales from the Crypt. So that's up there. What else? Ace Von Johnson from LA Guns, who's also a massive horror fan. That interview's been done, and he was part of the history of metal and horror. So that's a new documentary that's out. And I've also interviewed the director of the history of metal and horror, which I suggested. Did you try for Slash? He couldn't get past management. So he doesn't even know Slash knows about it. And I suggested Mr. Del James, because if you follow him on social media, he is the Lord of horror. Like he knows everything. And I was like, you should interview Del James if you do more of this documentary, more interviews, because he's had like Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie and the people who played Jason and Michael Myers. It's just fucking awesome. So he's like writing down Del James. So if that happens, gotta credit me for doing it. And I just interviewed Michael Jai White, who played Spawn.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's gonna be out soon. One of those short but sweet interviews
Wow.
I did. Very lucky. One of those interviews that I got through my radio live. So some happen through my radio life, some I make happen, some I get through my Guns N' Roses fandom, my fandom and friends. Well, I should switch that, friends and fandom. I don't know. What do I call you guys? Oh, I have that Bad Apples clip, by the way. I can bring that back because you guys are bad apples. Hold on. This is Bad Apples FX. You guys hear? No, I ain't have it up. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, I haven't played that in a long time. You guys are bad apples. I have a new studio. As I mentioned, I'm a little loopy right now. I've been awake. It's 8:00 right now in New York City, 8 p.m. I've been awake since 3 a.m. because I'm starting while everyone's on vacation. I'm the backup producer for the morning show. So I got to wake up at 3 a.m., be there by 4. And as soon as I walked into the studio this morning, what was playing? Welcome to the Jungle.
Beautiful.
You got to get used to it, dude. You got a baby on the way, don't you?
I know. I know, man. Yeah. April 27th is the supposed due date for little Axel. I don't know.
I was gonna.
No,
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Let me say that I don't know how expansive I've been on this podcast. I mean, for one, it's it's like 5.5 months at this point. I'm one of those people that I'm like, I want to hold it like before I start like celebrating and talking about it and everything like that. Let's just get through this time and taking care of my wife and everything. Baby's first concert was Praxis with Buckethead and Brain. So that's a pretty bad first concert. I was hoping to announce it to Matt Sorum and ask him about early, being a first father advice and stuff like that. But that interview was postponed again, which is fine because Matt's an awesome guy and I'm lucky I've had him on this podcast at all. But I was supposed to have him like a year ago or 2 years ago for his book. That was delayed a bunch of times. And now I was supposed to have him now for New Kings of Chaos. But I should, hopefully, knock on wood, my desk is made of wood, I think, after the second Kings of Chaos single comes out next year. So that was my brain. I was like, I'm going to tell Matt Sorum. I'll tell him to announce to my podcast world that I'm having a kid, but nothing goes as planned. Now does it? So
Not with children.
No, not with it. My cats kind of keep me awake. They do. No kids for you, right, Mr. Acoustic Fox?
Not at this stage, no. Just a cat also, Maverick. I'm surprised he hasn't made an appearance, actually, because the sun's shining outside and he usually likes to get out there on the weekend, so he won't be too far away. But no kids as yet, just guitars. So yeah.
What a great name for a cat, Maverick. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a lot. Well, I appreciate both of you coming on this early Saturday for you, late Friday for me. I'm loopy, but I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to talk to just talk about this crazy again. I'm talking to my wife about like, do you see that woman that got hit in the face with Axe's microphone? I mean, bless her. She does care about more about Guns N' Roses more than she ever did. November Rain's on the radio the other day. She's like, it's not November. I'm like, see, I'm not only passing my Guns N' Roses fandom, I'm passing my bad sense of humor, my bad jokes to her as well. So that's why it's a marriage. So let me before I forget, Craig, what any plugs you want to get in for Fox on the Wire or anything that you want to that's out there? Any music?
Yeah, look, keeping pretty busy. I haven't done as many podcast episodes this year as I hoped. I've sort of been focusing on my own music and work and that sort of thing. But I'm hoping to get you back on again, Brando, actually, because I think next year is the 20th anniversary of the infamous Calder Park Guns N' Roses Skid Row show. It's like 20-year anniversary, and that was a big one. So I'd actually love to get you back on if you're keen.
Sure.
Not too busy.
I mean, I would have to learn about that gig because I need to be, maybe we do a situation where we have people at that gig, because that's every person. I mean, Jason, were you? I'm sure you know about it. Were you there at all? Were you there?
I went to the Sydney one. They played Sydney and Melbourne.
Okay.
I was in Sydney. Yeah.
I mean, just from what I hear from the Australian fan base, I mean, these are iconic shows that happen.
Yeah,
so I would love to learn.
Crazy. I think what was it, 90,000 or something? No water, no fucking nothing. It was just hot, and it was a big day.
And the cool thing is, like, you're talking about Guns N' Roses fans. Like, Jason was obviously a young guy going to that show, and now 20 years later, Jason's taking his daughter to these new shows. So that's
I was 16. Way at school to get the tickets, and now taking my daughter. That's why I took them. That's really why I went this time around, just so I made sure they got to see them, and same age as me when I first seen them, so it all fit. Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. Can't top that, man. So Jason, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for, just being a cool friend and cool follower of this podcast for so many years. And same thing, obviously, to you, Craig. I appreciate it. And yeah, let me know. Keep me posted. And we'll talk about the 93 Guns N' Roses and Skid Row in Australia. So that does it for this episode of Appetite for Distortion. When will you see the next one? I don't know. In the words of Axl Rose concerning Chinese democracy, you'll see it. I don't know if soon is the word.